Welcome back. It's still Morning Rush on Metro Television. We are talking to Dr. Sherif Okyeere, who is a health practitioner from Amen Scientific Herbal and Alternative Medical Hospital. And this morning we are talking about atherosclerosis, and that's a conversation that we've had before, but then we are bringing it back because it is really important that viewers, people understand these things. Doc, good morning. Good morning. And welcome. You're all in white. You're in a blue black. I'm in a purple.
I don't know what that's. I don't know what that is for.
I like to wear this one. He's not Desmond. He's Desmond. Desmond. Doc, we are talking about atherosclerosis. Such a big name.
Yes.
What is it? Let's break it down.
Okay. So, in simple terms, when there's fat deposits,
Okay.
or what they say plaques, formation within the lumen of the arteries. Now, the arteries, it's there for blood to move, circulate into all parts of the body from the heart. So, patency of these arteries goes a long way for the well-being of the body.
Okay.
You understand? So, anything that will cause a hindrance or a blockade within the artery could go a long way to affect the body.
Okay.
Now, when there's plaques or fat, tissues or other, chemicals in the body that builds up within the artery. So if you look at the picture on the screen, in one picture you have an artery where the lumen is very, clean.
Yeah.
There are no plaques. There are no
normal out
deposits.
section of the artery.
You get it.
Yeah.
And in one of the pictures you see a build-up of these
tear in artery walls.
Yes, within the artery walls. And then in one of the pictures you see the plaques has been very, very significant there.
Fatty materials.
You understand? So it deposits within
the vessel walls.
You get it.
Okay.
The vessel walls, and it causes a blockade. And when it happens that way, it causes a blockade in blood circulation.
Okay. So it narrows the artery.
It
and
narrows
it becomes
the lumen of the arteries.
I'm not a doctor. I'm just seeing what is on the screen. Yeah.
So yes, right now you are the doctor because the kind of explanation you are giving is
make up to the producer.
It's exactly the way it is. So so the lumen of the arteries are narrowed as a result of these fat deposition within the artery walls. And when this thing happens, this is where we say there is a condition called atherosclerosis. So it is basically deposition of fatty materials within the lumen of the artery or the artery walls.
Okay, so it has to do with the heart, if I'm right.
Yes.
Because in school we studied arteries and ventricles.
Yes.
Am I right?
Yes.
It's divided into 4. My son, big up to Mr. Domfrey and Accra girls. Yes.
Yes, I remember that so much. The artery. Blood goes.
Yes.
Oh, big ups to my science teacher.
So then it has to do with the heart.
Yes.
And if fat is blocking these things, then I can say one can be exposed to heart attack.
Exactly.
Any moment.
Yes, exactly. So what actually happens is that the BP. Actually, medically we say the BP is dependent on your cardiac output times your peripheral resistance. Now, when you look at the picture, in a clean vessel.
If we could have the picture back,
Yes. So in a clean vessel, the first picture that we have at the top, when blood is pushed into circulation and they are moving through within these arteries, you realize that peripheral resistance within this artery is less, or there are no peripheral resistance because there's patency within the lumen of the artery. And then when you look at the down pictures, where you have a lot more of the fat deposits within the peripheral resistance within these arteries are very higher. You understand? And because peripheral resistance affects directly the blood pressure, in these cases you realize that their blood pressures might go high. Now, when your BP goes high, it could predispose you in getting a heart attack like you mentioned. And then again, when these plaques are formed within the arteries, in some cases there can be a break off from these plaques because these plaques are more like calcified. They are harder, you know, tissues because they are fat. So when they become hard, and they break off from these arteries, and it finds itself within the heart, it can also cause the heart attack that you are also mentioning. In the same way, when these plaques find its way within the smaller blood vessels, especially within the brain and all those things, it can also cause situations like stroke.
Okay.
Yes, so you realize a lot of these heart attacks, these strokes, these hypertension and all these conditions are as a result of this situation that we are talking about, atherosclerosis.
Where is the fat supposed to be, and how come it gets into
it finds itself in the artery?
Yes, so so what happens is fat, a lot of time we talk about fat, but fat is good for the body.
Okay.
You understand? And there's a proportion that the body needs every day.
Okay.
And you realize, especially cholesterol. Cholesterol is very good for the body, for the skin, for visceral tissues, for insulation in the body, and all other, you know, things that it does for the body.
Okay.
But then, if it becomes excess, because the body produces about 80% of the cholesterol that the body needs every day from the liver.
Okay.
You understand? So we actually need just about 20% to supplement it. But you realize, you know, for a typical Ghanaian like me and you, when we wake up in the morning, we'll take our breakfast, usually tea with probably egg, bread, you know, and so you get it. Milk. So there's a large quantity of fats that are being consumed in the morning. Of course, in the afternoon, we'll order from the restaurants, you know, there's fat. In the evening, we'll get to the house, there's fat in our meals. So we tend to produce a lot more fat than the body needs. Okay. And you realize, you know, typically, of course, when you drive from the house to the office, you sit in the AC. There are no physical activity within the day. So the body tends to store these excess fats in the body. And because when they become excess, there's no space for them, they tend to deposit within beneath our skin, within the blood vessels and all those things. So that is where the problem comes from.
That's why it finds itself.
That is why it finds itself, because there are spaces there. So they take advantage of the fact that there are spaces there, and they start deposit within, you know, these spaces. So basically, when you look at the cause of this condition, atherosclerosis, it is usually based on our lifestyle.
Such a chibom.
Yes, so the such is what the most cause of this.
Oh, but why point it out? Oh, but no, but I mean, as you said, it's good. The cholesterol and fat,
it's good for us.
Yes, we need.
So may I take the good one?
And then also, you know, when you go out in our market, most of these fats that we have in our market has what we call the bad cholesterol in them more than those that have the good cholesterol.
Yeah.
So when you take them, it will definitely end up, you know, in some of these situations.
Okay. All right. So in all of this, is there a way because as you're talking, I'm just picturing it's like a zombie. Zombie, right?
Yeah.
Now,
you place it there for some time.
If you place it there it kicks.
Yeah, it kicks.
You know, and so that's why I'm using it as an analogy in my head. How do we get the fat off? Is there a way that the fat can be moved out of the artery or around it?
Yes. So there's always a way out. In fact, in situations like this, there are medications that can be given. Okay. But then in all that, lifestyle modifications is paramount.
Yeah.
Okay? You understand? So this such a, as you mentioned, needs to be reduced. And there are some lifestyle situations like excessive alcohol intake, tobacco use, because now when you take a lot more tobacco, it makes the arteries very hard. We call it atherosclerosis. When it becomes hard, or it causes inflammation within the lumen of the artery, it can be the genesis of these plaques formation within the body.
Okay.
You understand? And then also late eating, being obese, and all those things. You know, family history, because there are some families that, you know, these conditions are very common. They are always, and then if you have conditions like high cholesterol, you know, there are people when they go to the hospital, they are always being told that their cholesterol is high. We need to be very careful about all these situations. Try and adapt, you know, lifestyle of eating well. You understand? Not eating too late in the night. Trying to be physically active. Because of course, as humans, we are going to eat. You can't say you eat. So make sure what you are eating is right. And then even when it is right, you need to also try and exercise. Being physically active. Because there are some people, they can go like some months without even engaging in any form of physical activity.
That's very wrong.
That is very, very, very bad. You know,
a bad habit.
It's a bad habit. So check your lifestyle, your eating habits, the time that you eat, and all that. For some of us who try.
Yes. Some eat very late.
Yes.
I mean, it's so bad.
Late. You see,
I don't know who you're talking about.
You see, talking about these things, you feel it's I don't want to say a joke or funny or something like that, but when you are out there and you see the effects late eating is causing to a lot of people, because you know, as a result of this condition, atherosclerosis, some people are having chronic kidney problems. Because last week Tuesday, there was a guy who came. The cholesterol because it can go asymptomatic. You know, you can have higher cholesterol, atherosclerosis, and you might not show any sign or any symptom. And if you are not lucky and it affects your renal artery, which supply blood to the kidneys, it can cause kidney damage. And we all know in Ghana right now, even our dialysis centers are not even working. You understand? So it is very serious condition. If you are not lucky and it happens to affect the the artery that moves to the heart attack, and all these conditions are there. Stroke. You know, so it is very, very serious situation, and it is affecting a lot of people. A lot. We are all culprits. Especially when it comes to late eating and physical inactivity.
I like the fact that you're touching on late eating.
Understand? It is very, very serious situation that we need to pay attention to.
But Doc, how is it diagnosed? I mean, how do you diagnose atherosclerosis?
Yes, so when you get to the hospital, we can do what we call a lipid profile test to check the cholesterol levels in the blood and all those things. There are some scans that can be done to also check the patency of the arteries and the blood vessels in the system that can determine some of these conditions. So yes, so of course we can do a blood work on you to actually find out the levels of fat and cholesterol in the blood to determine if you have this condition or not.
You mentioned that lifestyle can actually help reduce or change so many things, but if someone has it is curable.
Yes.
It is not
curable.
Yes. It is curable. There are medications and lifestyle modifications that can help people with this condition.
We thank God for that. Why are both of you laughing? I eat late is relative, right? Oh, what is late?
Yes, it's
eating
relative.
10, 11.
Yeah, okay, but
it's relative. So usually I advise people that between your last meal to the time you sleep, at least should be 3 hours.
Good. So my time I eat.
That is
by
why
5 I'm done.
That is why it is relative. You get it. So for example, if you are eating at 10 and probably you are sleeping at 2 a.m.
It's okay.
1 a.m. it's okay. That's when you are you are busily
eating
working.
what fufu. Because if you say we can eat anything and sleep 3 hours later, that will eat you.
Yes, but you see, that is why in all these things, I like the fact that you use relative. You understand? Saying that you can eat at 10 doesn't mean that you should go and eat fufu at 10 in the night. You understand? And just as you mentioned, I don't understand why we eat those kind of food in the night.
The noodles.
Yes.
It's a quick fix. You know?
No, he needs your share.
It has, you know, it causes most
Some
of
of
these
you-
conditions
okay, okay.
than even the fufu and the banku that we know.
Yeah.
All right,
So we all have to be very careful.
we've
about
got to go, Doc. So you have the numbers on your screen in a bit. Call Doc from Amin Scientific, and they're going to sort you out. And of course, you can go to the centers in Accra, Dome, and also in Klagon.
Yes, Klagon, close to the Ashama Underbridge.
Yeah.
In Takrady, in Kumasi, Tamale, Ho, and Koko. In fact, when you call any of the numbers on the screen, we'll direct you to the nearest Amen Scientific Herbal and Alternative Medical Hospital branch.
Thank you very much, Doc, for coming.
You're welcome.